Are you listening?
PlayStation! We are officially 1 week closer to the release of the PlayStation 5. Congratulations, folks! We made it! And with CES being officially behind us, we have a ton of PlayStation news that needs to be discussed. And for situations like this, we have a segment here on the show that we like to call PS, I forgot to tell you. First up this week, Sony held a press conference at CES in which they announced that PlayStation has officially sold 106 million PlayStation 4s, ensuring that the console is now the second best-selling PlayStation console of all time, surpassing both the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 1. These sales numbers also secure Sony as the most dominant gaming platform in history, having manufactured 4 out of the 5 top-selling consoles of all time. But that's not all. Sony also revealed that over 1.15 billion PlayStation 4 games have been sold since the console's release. PlayStation has also hit 5 million PSVR units sold, and currently PlayStation is sitting on 103 million monthly active users, with 38.8 million of those users being PlayStation Plus subscribers. Extremely impressive numbers to reveal as CES. You know, it's kind of like Sony was trying to reveal some type of new console, or maybe even a logo. P.S. I forgot to tell you. PlayStation's Jim Ryan used this year's CES as an opportunity to reveal the official logo of the PlayStation 5, which is aptly being called the PS5. It's unique, breathtaking, so original. For some, the PlayStation 5 logo reveal may come across like a banana just duct taped to a wall, but don't be fooled by its simplicity, because the reveal of the PS5 logo quickly became the most popular gaming post for a company in the history of Instagram, generating over 5,279,617 likes. But that's not the only PlayStation 5 news that we got at CES, because P.S. I forgot to tell you. Sony's Jim Ryan also confirmed some key hardware features of the PlayStation 5. Features like 3D audio sound, haptic adaptive triggers for the DualShock 5, an ultra-high-speed solid-state drive, hardware-based ray tracing, along with an Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive. So, when are we going to see the PlayStation 5 for the first time? P.S. I forgot to tell you. Well, if history repeats itself, Sony will unveil the new console at a private media event in February, like they did with the PlayStation 4. And looking at the slate of upcoming events with PAX East at the end of February, GDC in March, and E3 in June, each one of these events becomes pivotal to the console's launch. Which brings us to the $106 million question. Will Sony be at E3? Well, good news is Sony has not denied that they are attending this year's E3 yet. But the bad news is Sony has not confirmed that they are attending this year's E3 either. And speaking from a business perspective, shows like E3 often take months upon months of planning, with hotels needing to be booked for staff, booths needing to be designed by exhibitors. Literally, the logistics of these shows for someone like Sony is massive. So I'm sure that Sony has already made up their mind about this year's E3. We're just waiting to hear what that decision is. But I will tell you this, somebody else has already determined whether Sony will be attending this year's E3 or not. Because, P.S., I forgot to tell you. According to the Video Games Chronicle, we understand that the Xbox events team is working under the assumption that PlayStation will not be at E3 2020, and upping its plans accordingly. You hear that, Sony? Xbox don't think you gonna do shit. Phil Spencer's gonna roll into E3 like he owned that bitch. He about to take his Series X and smear it all over that convention. cause you ain't gonna do shit. But in all seriousness, PlayStation is currently king. Their sales clearly prove that. But as Shakespeare famously wrote, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. And PlayStation has to be careful, because this generation is theirs to lose. That's why their decisions of where, when, or how have to be so strategic. Because as king, their choices are amplified to the millionth degree. But in the world of speculation that we find ourselves in, one thing is true. The PS5 is real, and we are closer than we have ever been. Thanks again for checking out our channel. If you like what you saw and you want to see more content just like it, hit that like button, because if you don't, well, we just got a nifty gift from the friends at PlayStation. If you don't know what it is, it's the Leviathan axe. This thing is extremely dangerous. So, hit that subscribe